Welcome back, travelers. We're already in the middle of the Genshin 5.5 beta cycle. You know what that means? It's about to get a big shakeup. This is usually when the most significant adjustments are made to new character kits. To be honest, I expected both Varesa and Iansan to get some big changes. Surprisingly, this beta update was anything but. Instead of the usual massive nerfs and buffs, this update is full of small but powerful changes that will likely be the last ones before launch. Let's take a look. First up, Varesa has gotten some minor tweaks, but don't worry. She still looks really strong. Her base stats have been tweaked a bit, her base def has been lowered, while her base ATK has been increased. This is a nice change since she relies heavily on her ATK. But that's not all. Some of her moveset values have been nerfed. In particular, her charge attack and snare damage have been nerfed, and this applies to both the buffed and unbuffed versions of her abilities. Buy crystals from lootbar.gg. It's 100% safe and secure. It saves you up to 23% of the actual in-game price and an extra 8% in getting double the currency for your first purchase. Buy with UID, link description, and pinned comment. While these may seem like simple nerfs, there's something interesting here. To compensate, 2 of her passives have been buffed and actually made better than before. Her A1 passive, which was previously just a 50% increase to plunge damage, now adds 60x to her normal plunge attack and 150x to her burning passion plunge. This makes her plunge attack much more powerful, and her C1 has been adjusted to match this buff. Her A4 passive has also been buffed, granting more ATK whenever her Night Soul Burst triggers. This makes her overall damage scaling better. But the real slam dunk here is the new artifact set that is coming in version 5.5. This set is specifically designed to buff plunge damage, and many have predicted that this will be the 5th best set for Varesa. However, early estimates suggest that this set is not actually that overwhelmingly superior to the others. The new set only buffs plunge attacks, while Varesa still deals significant damage with her abilities and charge attacks, making Obsidian Codex still a very valuable set. Obsidian Codex doesn't trigger the 2-set bonus 100% of the time, but it's still very useful. The new plunge set is slightly better on a team, but Obsidian Codex actually outperforms it on an Overlord team. So what does all this mean? Varesa's playstyle remains the same, but these changes solidify her identity as a pure plunge DPS, which is great news for those who want to play Varesa as a main. So how much stronger is Varesa? The exact numbers vary depending on the calculation, but a rough estimate would be around a 3.5% total damage increase on Overlord teams and around a 1.2% total damage increase on teams. Overall, the buff is about a 1 to 2% increase to total DPS. It's not a game-changing change, but it's a buff. Now let's talk about Iansan. Iansan is so powerful that she outperforms Bennett in team effectiveness and raw damage. I was 100% expecting a nerf, and in fact I was willing to bet a Primo Gems on her. The result? Nothing. Iansan is exactly the same as she was in the early beta. No damage nerfs, no energy cost increases, no cooldown changes. The only thing that changed is her ability description, no actual mechanical changes. And the most surprising thing is that Iansan and Varesa's birthdays have been added to the game files. Why is this important? Because in Genshin beta, when a character's birthday is added, that character's kit is pretty much finalized. Since there's still time in beta, Hoyoverse can still change it. But history tells us that Iansan and Varesa are pretty much guaranteed to be released. Does this mean Iansan is game-breaking? Not necessarily, but it does show that Natlan's characters are causing some serious power creep. With both Varesa and Iansan being very strong units, and considering the strong characters like Chevreuse, it seems like Natlan is ushering in a new era of powerful and versatile characters for Genshin. Final thoughts? What's next? Varesa looks stronger than ever and remains a top-tier plunge DPS. Iansan is still there and will likely be one of the strongest 4-star characters we've ever seen. The new artifact set is great, but Obsidian Codex still remains a strong alternative. Honestly, this patch is the most exciting patch ever. If you're holding on to your Primo Gems, now is the time to make a decision, as both Varesa and Iansan look like top-tier characters. What do you think of the beta changes? Are you happy with Varesa's buffs? Do you think Iansan is essentially broken? Let us know in the comments.